Well, hello there. My name is Scott, and today we're going to be talking about healing imagery. But what is imagery? Well, imagery is essentially creating or recreating an event in your mind, the visualization. Actually, a really common form of imagery or mental imagery is like guided meditation. They can also be used for goal oriented responses, developing new skills or enhancing skills that the athlete already has, and also developing strategy. So, our PowerPoint actually does a great job of um, showing like the chess game. So, essentially, you are building a strategy in your mind well before you actually perform the task. So they say the best chess players think 4 or 5 moves ahead. Think of that as your strategy within your visualization in your mind. Something else that comes to mind too, if you're a millennial like me, you have definitely seen the movie Waterboy back in the day. So Coach Klein is helping Bobby Boucher find his inner anger so he can perform better as he needs his tackling fuel, right? Tackling fuel. And so he would imagine the opponents on the other side of the team or on the other side of the field as something he didn't like. So like in one scene, he was imagining one of the other players has uh, the mean teacher that said, "Well, Mama's wrong again," right? And so he was in real time imagining the other player as something else, which gave him the tackling fuel to perform better uh, at football. The purpose, like the actual purpose of healing imagery, it's really good for building confidence as well. So I gave the example a little bit earlier of Bobby Boucher, and he was getting his tackling fuel. So building confidence in somebody, or at least activating, arousing them, right? As far as the term that's used there, getting an athlete prepared and ready for what's about to come, or unleashing their inner beast in those particular instances. It's really good for practicing. So, as an instructor, historically, one of the things we talk about with scenario land is that we can never recreate what our recruits are doing in the field for paramedicine. We can't just have somebody shot right in the classroom, and so they have to patch up a real wound. But what we can do is create a scenario where they are actually having to mentally picture what's going on. Sometimes we have the use of visual aids, which is super helpful. Part of the healing imagery or the imagery that's mentioned in the slides is that using all the senses is very helpful for actually solidifying what you're trying to achieve. And so that's what we're talking about when we're doing the recruit training classes. It is the kinesthetic part of it. So they're actually getting hands on. Maybe it's a mannequin, or maybe we'll have somebody, another actor, screaming in the background because they are a concerned bystander. So this relates really well to the sports medicine field as well, because as you are developing your strategy, you're developing your skill, and you're thinking about it, you can introduce sounds or pictures or videos that would be distracting and essentially help them to cue in on how to remain focused. I'm not saying all imagery is done that way. It is just another example of one of the tools in the toolbox for performing this. Imagery has a wide variety of uses, and it's the way it's applied, or the way it's used in each individual's case. You have to be flexible, and that's one of the beautiful things about the mental imagery that I found, is that the more flexible you are and you cater it to the person, to the athlete, or in exercise like the client that I'm working with, or even all the way into firefighting and paramedicine, if you cater to the person that you are instructing, that you are coaching, you can enhance its ability. You can actually make it work better for that person. As far as who benefits from mental or healing imagery, like what mental states it would be good for, to be honest, it's good for everybody, right? And if we're talking specifically about healing, we're kind of diving more into those that are feeling anxiety or even depression. Okay, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of one of the forms. I'm actually going to use the Gregg and Hall motivational imagery ability measure for sport. So what I liked about this is it utilized the SAIQ form, the questionnaire, how easy or difficult was it for you to create the image in your mind. But it uses that, but tacks on an emotional response to it as well. Hey, Scott, I'm going to ask you or provide you a series of scenarios here. And so I just want you to tell me how difficult or easy it is to create an image on a scale of 1 to 7. At the same time, I'm actually going to ask you to also tell me how strong of an emotional response that you have to this scene that I'm about to read to you. Oh, okay. So 1 to 7, how easy or difficult it is for me to create the image, and then 1 to 7, my emotional response. Cool, I can do that. All right, Scott. Scenario number 2. Imagine yourself about to begin a competition in your sport. As you finish your preparations in the final few minutes before the competition begins, you notice the feeling of some butterflies in your stomach. You notice your palms are a bit sweaty and your heart is beating a little quickly. You know these symptoms indicate that you are a little bit excited. This is good, and you are ready to compete. Whoa, as you were reading that, I totally had butterflies in my stomach. Wow, very strong emotional response to that one. 7 out of 7. And I could really easily visualize myself getting anxious. In fact, as you were talking about the butterfly feelings, I noticed that I was starting to feel anxious and have butterflies in my stomach. That's amazing. Very easy, 7 out of 7 on that as well. Very good, 7 out of 7. Noted on my notepad. All right, I could keep going on. There's several scenarios on that list there, but I'm not going to keep entertaining you with this wonderful charade here. But essentially, these models here are kind of, to me, it's kind of important, especially when I'm engaging with the recruits at work or my clients when I'm doing personal training. I read that with a lot of inflection and just kind of a lot of feeling, and I didn't necessarily mean for it to come across as being goofy for the video, but that's kind of how I would read a scenario to somebody. I am trying to elicit or help them elicit that visualization in their mind, so I can help them by being a little not as monotone as I am probably in this video. I'm sorry if it's super monotone, but trying to use some inflection, trying to add some excitement to it. The idea is to help them. I want to paint the picture for them as I am talking them through this visualization process, and that's a role I can take on. Hopefully that works for your clients or your athletes when you're doing this in the future. All right, this concludes the video. Hopefully you found it informational. This was all about healing imagery or just visualization imagery in general. Hopefully you found it a little entertaining at a minimum. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in the responses, and thank you for your time. Bye.